Hey guys, it's Sonia. Hopefully I got our lighting figured out in here. How are you guys doing on this beautiful spring-like Saturday? It is 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And you guys know that we made a change last weekend, right? That we said we would meet up at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time throughout the week and noon on Saturdays and Sundays. So we could sleep in and get stuff done, get up, get a chance, maybe do some reading, right? Before we start our book club chat here on Saturday at noon. So this is the book we are reading together this month. Hopefully this week you got a chance to read some additional chapters. Who's reading the book along with me? And how are you enjoying it? Last week, we talked about some points that were in chapters 1 through 7. And today I have been reading and catching up on my reading from chapters 8 through 15, right? Because we said we do 7 chapters a week, 1 chapter a day. At the end of the month, we will have read basically the entire book, right? You can make it work. So I'm going to go ahead, say hello as you guys pop on. Let me know who's out there today, who's got their TP, got all their supplies that might be kicking around the house and want to hang out for a little bit. Candy says, the more I read this book, the more I love it. Yes, right? We all need positivity. And so the feelings that you get when you sit down and read a book, by the time you're done, you're grateful that you did it. Does anybody else feel like that? Even if you haven't read a book in a while and you went, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for me and my mindset and for my business and for my own personal self-love. Just the quiet time of sitting down and reading your book and just having some you time and digesting what you're reading and thinking about stuff that maybe, especially at a time right now, right, where the world is worried. I always say in here, because I believe it in life in general, that knowledge is power. And right now with the whole coronavirus, that's, we're in the US right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well that are watching, that everybody's going to be affected by this. And knowledge is power because, something new is happening right now. And, how many people, when you go onto your social media, is really scared right now, right? And it's that feeling of not knowing what's to come. That's, there's runs on toilet paper and, all the crazy enough and all the pictures. Who's waking up this morning to all the pictures with stores that don't have food in the shelves anymore, right? It's a little bit crazy. And so it's important, especially our family needs us, right? We're going to get through this. And this is going to affect all of us. So this morning, I really felt really good just to sit down and get caught up on my reading because, it's very calming. You can go on social media and, there's the hype that's out there and it can make you, every time you pick up your social media, to your phone. Anybody feel like that? I said to Matt yesterday, it was a beautiful day out. And I look out the window and it's beautiful and it's calm and it's very spring-like and it just feels so good. And then you pick up your phone and you're like, the world is coming to an end, right? It's amazing how literally what you're looking at can change how you feel. And so that's why I'm a big believer in, if you want to be better for your family, better for your business, you got to contain all that is you, right? Contain the squirrels, contain the focus, and, calm yourself, right? And think about this reasonably. And so sitting down this morning for me personally, I really enjoy just drinking some water this morning. After I had my coffee, I sat down and picked up the book to continue reading this. And I'm like, I feel so good. I'm glad I did that, right? It just calm, especially, I'll start talking about some nuggets that I pulled out this morning. But, in this section, she talks even about meditation, meditation, which sounds like a crazy, like, oh my gosh, that's really far out, right? Like we're going to meditate on our business. Basically, you take some time of the day to, when you feel like you're moving forward all the time, when you really feel like, things are going at, a million miles per hour, it's taking time for yourself just to really try to bring yourself down to earth, to not get caught up in the tornadoes around you and to really think through things and, determine your next steps. It's just giving yourself a little bit of me time, a little bit of quiet time. There's nothing wrong with that, especially. So I really felt like it was really good and a really good reminder because sometimes we get up. Your alarm goes off or you snooze a couple times. And when you get up, it's like, got to get up, got to go, right? And this section of chapters, she really talks about just, taking some time for you, which there's nothing wrong with that. Jan says, yep, this world has gone crazy, fighting over TP and cleaning products nuts. Yes. Maybe on tomorrow's chat, we'll talk a little bit about, how this might, impact businesses going forward, what you can do. I mean, it's going to impact everybody, right? But just, things that we can be mindful of. Yep, absolutely. So that's why, fueling your mind is so important, right? And just keeping control over you. So these are a few things that I underlined, that I scribbled, that I marked on like a workbook, this book that I'm reading through. And I'd love it if you guys, oh my gosh, guys, give me a second. I'm doing my froggy Maury thing. I haven't talked to enough people this morning. I've only read my book. Anybody else just sound froggy when they get up in the morning? So tell me if there's any parts to you over the chapters. This is a book club, a meetup where you can listen. Or, if you have anything that you want to say, like, yeah, in chapter whatever, this was really helpful to me, or this was something that I came away with, be sure to let me know. So she says, and you've probably heard your talents as a business owner called like a gift that you have. And so this is something that really stood out to me. She says, a gift, of course, is meant to be given, which is why it's so brutal. It's so brutal. You turn the page here. When we can't figure out what our gift is, or when we know what it is, but she says we're too lame to act on it. All right. She tells it like it is. She says we have the perfect gift to share with the world, just bursting to be opened, and we keep it sitting there tightly wrapped in a box, growing old and gathering dust, thinking about all the stuff that we're going to do, but we don't really open it, right? And she's like, talks about, a gift. And if you give a gift to somebody, that feeling as the giver that you get, like you get more joy when you give and you see somebody else open and it brings a smile to their face, right? Just that inner joy. And so she says, which is why when you find your calling and you design your life in such a way that you can share your gifts with the world on a consistent basis, you feel like a rock star. And that's where I think that whole thing of when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. When you are showing up every day and you give your gift to other people, there is such joy that you get from it. And when you're truly, your business is centered around the gifts that you do have, this is why you always have energy. When people say to me, Sonia, how do you keep going? How do you keep doing what you do? Because it just so happens that I've designed my business to align with what I love to do, what my gift is, and what brings me joy. And so it brings me joy. And this is why I always say that I would be painting anyhow, regardless if the camera was on. I just happened to go ahead and decide to share with people what I was doing, right? Share my gift, help other people. And boy, if I ever, has it ever come back to me tenfold, And that's why I always say, if you do what you love and you treat people, the way you'd want to be treated, and you run your business with integrity, somehow you'll always be taken care of, right? You're doing the right things. And so if you can align your business with what you love to do, remember that chat we had in here, we talked about, what's the thing you do regardless if you're sick or not, right? Regardless, you just can't get your fingers out of it. You're doing what you love. And so we're opening that gift and giving it to other people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, showing up in your business. And it does bring you joy, right? That's why, you don't get tired. You can talk about it till the cows come home because you truly love it. She says, when we share what we were brought here to give, we are in alignment with our highest, most powerful selves. And if you're doing what you love, doesn't it even make you feel better when you get to do what you love? Like somehow, like I said, whether you're sick or not, you just do what you love and it just makes you feel better, right? Chris says, I love this. Chris Thompson says, I like how each chapter ends with love yourself. We forget that sometimes. That's true. That's what she does, isn't it? Yes, because we forget about ourselves and we got to take care of ourselves. Jan says, yes. Oh, yes. We just need to be better humans. True that. Yep. Jan loves that as well, that she did that. So she says that, some people never truly go for it. They never unbox their gifts to share with other people. What you're doing right now at the kitchen table, in your garage, and you have a talent and a gift for whatever it is that you're doing, that's the part when you give it away, right? When you open it and unbox it and share it with other people and really lights your life up. She says some people basically, hit the big snooze, and they big snooze. Now, remember last week we learned what the big snooze stands for, BS. They basically big snooze their lives away. They don't do it, right? And she says, everybody's born with unique and valuable gifts. And once we figure out what ours are and decide to live our lives, putting them to use, that's really when the party begins. And she says that it's available to everybody because we're all special and we all have talents and we all have gifts, and it's available for everybody to tap into, right? Everything that you need right now, you have already inside of you. You just got to reach in. The answer is already there. And that's why I think she probably deals with, as you go into these chapters, about finding what that is, right? What your gift is, and meditating and thinking about it and using your intuition, all those things. Guys, if you have not gotten this book, it is awesome. And obviously I can't read everything in this book because I want to honor the author who wrote it. And so we're going to talk about some highlights in here, but I'm just going to be honest with you. If you can read a couple paragraphs of this book, because every paragraph just has such good stuff that makes you, even if you're having a bad day, helps you just suck it up and really reframe how you're thinking about something, right? But she says that it does exist. And so the life that you can't wait to create is there. But she says you just need to get some clarity first, right? I always say clarity comes through action. It's through doing the stuff and then figuring the stuff out. Get you closer to what you love, what you don't love, what you want more of in your life, what you've decided to move on from. But if you're not doing anything and you're hitting the big snooze button as she talks, right? Then are we really ever going to move forward, right? Sandy says, I'm excited every day. I cannot wait to create. Oh, I totally get what you're saying. All right. So this was a part of the book where I underlined and I thought this could be our homework. Okay. This could be the homework to do today, to think about stuff. If you're ever wondering, like, you know, what should I share with people? You know, what can I do for my business? What do I have that people might be interested in? And also it's a good exercise in understanding that you have a lot of things going for you. You have a lot of resources that you can tap into. Okay. And so this is on page 73 of the book, and it's called Be the Alien. And it sounds kind of kooky and it sounds kind of weird, but hey, we're all just a little kooky and a little bit weird, right? I love how she, like, you know, for me, if you've ever heard my examples that I come up with, you know, about stuff, it's just usually about life in general or just basic down to earth stuff. And so I can appreciate that because it helps you understand it a little bit more, right? So she says, all right, you ready for this? Imagine that you're an alien, okay, floating around in outer space, and you suddenly swoop down to Earth and you inhabit your own body, okay? It sounds a little far out, but she's got a whole thing to help us think through it, all right? Lisa says, now is the perfect opportunity to spread joy. We can use our business pages to show our passions and talents to our audience, giving them a short time to think about something else and boost their creativity. Oh, I love that, Lisa. Be sure to show up tomorrow at noon because I want to focus on some things that we can do to help other people, especially during this time that we're all going through right now. And I love what you just said there. That is the perfect jumping off point. So let's talk about that some more tomorrow, and come with your ideas on how to help each other and what we do, right? Sandy says you can also listen to it for free on YouTube while you paint. Are you talking about the book? Did you find it somewhere? Or maybe you're talking about something else. But yeah, you could listen into it on audio if you can find it that way. Candy says, once we find ourselves and love what we love, I still take out those negative ideas and feeling to the curb take out the garbage, right? With a healthy supply of trash bags, and love yourself and not talk to yourself in that manner, right? You're awesome the way you are. You're perfect the way you are. So, you know, let go of all that chatter that says otherwise. Okay, let's go back to aliens inhabiting your body. Does that not sound exciting? Oh, Lisa found it on YouTube. Good deal. So when you're done here, just go to the search button here on YouTube and search for the name of this book right here. You Are a Rock Star. And you guys know what I mean. And then go find it. Woohoo. I love it. So she says, all right, okay, let's go back. Alien inhabiting your body. Okay. All right. And now as the alien, can I tell you something? I wasn't even going to say this, but this is the truth. As somebody who moved to the U.S. to a completely different country, it's funny because as you go through immigration paperwork, they refer to you as an alien. And I'm like, what? I ain't no alien, right? But it's true. You're coming to new terrain, right? You're somebody that's not from here. And so when I read this Be the Alien, it kind of took me back to when I first moved here. And this is how I saw things when I first moved to the US, right? How things were really, really different. And being from Canada and the US, you know, there's a lot of things that are alike, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that are really, really different, right? And just starting over and not having any friends here. And look, now I'm friends with all of you guys. That's why there's something to be said about opening up and, being terrified, but also at the same time of putting yourself out there to connect with other like-minded people, right? But anyway, she says just about an alien in general, okay? So she says, as the alien, everything about this life is new to you. You look around. What do you see? What is this person who you've inhabited so obviously awesome at? What do they have the most fun doing? What connections do they have? What resources and opportunities are available to them? So think about it. Basically, it's like pretending that, just separating yourself for a second to think that if you just landed in your own body, in your own house, in your own craft room right now, right? Or in your own shoes, right? For a second, it's thinking to yourself where you get so caught up in all the stuff that you think about. You take stuff for granted that we have right here now. But imagine if somebody else landed in your shoes, right? In this case, it's you. You take yourself out, you put yourself in with fresh eyes, all right? So today, meditate on that. Think about that. You just landed here, and this is where you live, and this is what you have. Well, number one, are you grateful for what you have? Do you have a roof over your head, right? Do you have family and people who love you? Do you have something to eat right now? Are you warm? Do you got clothes? Think about that from that whole perspective, which makes you think about all the goodness that you do have. And the stuff that you have right now, you're taking for granted, but you forgot that that's the stuff that you really, really have dreamed about and worked so hard to have, and you have that. But yet we're thinking about more stuff that we want to have, when really there's so much to be thankful for right here in this space, right? So even regardless of you thinking about it from a business perspective, think about it for you. If you took yourself out of this space, right, and you came back in looking at it with fresh eyes, would you look around the room and go, I'm so thankful that I have a laptop to be able to talk to the world on, right? I am so thankful that I have a chair to sit in. I'm so thankful that I woke up this morning and I could have a warm cup of coffee. I mean, think about all the things that we have to be thankful for, right? And that we have everything right now that we need. Just think about that, right? That's why I love this book, and I love it when at a time in life when we're on our social media or we're watching the news, and then you do a thought process like that for yourself, and you look around, you're thinking to yourself, I got more than enough. I'm going to be okay. We're going to be totally fine, right? I'm not going to buy into that. I got what I need today. So for your business perspective, she says, as the alien to whom everything is new, all right, and exciting, there's no risk, right? No past, right? They just landed right here in your body right now. What are you going to do with this incredible life that you just stepped into? Are you going to use this new body and this existence to create something fabulous and awesome starting right now? She says this exercise is very helpful for getting new perspective and stepping outside our boring, well, let me just tell you, our lame, okay, she uses other very colorful words, ruts of tired old excuses and lame habits, right? All the excuses we give ourselves, why, right? No time for that, all right? Move along, because we got tons to be thankful for, all right? So just go and dwell on that for a bit, and then come back when you've gotten the wah out of yourself, okay? So she says, making sure that you do this is good because you can get rid of the old excuses, the habits. I mean, how much time? So right now you can complain and you don't have enough time. But yet if this new body came to you right now, would they say, boy, they spend an awful lot of time doing this. And what is the purpose of this? Why are they even doing this? There is no need. This is a waste of time. We could totally be more efficient. We could cut that out if this person wants to have more time to spend over here doing this right now. Think of all the things, right? Yeah, it's pretty eye-opening when you really let yourself go into this chapter and start thinking about that stuff. She says it's also very useful making you aware of all the staggering possibilities and all the resources. So you're over here crying because you don't have a ring light, or I don't know, you're crying because you don't have something right now in your business that's not absolutely perfect. And then at the end of the day, you think you're holding yourself back when somebody else, new perspective, will go, just go live right now, right? The sun is in the sky. You got a big ball of light that shines from the sky, right? We have everything that we need. It's pretty darn amazing. Even in the last set of chapters, remember, I love the point where she says, even our greatest resource, the thing that we need the most on this planet, it rains from the sky. Think about that. It rains from the sky. The very thing that we need, all right? And it ain't toilet paper, all right? But the very thing that we need comes from the sky. It's free, all right? We're okay. We're going to be just fine. So she says it can be useful in making you aware of all the great things that you have going on, all the possibilities. So for your business right now, you might be thinking, I don't have anything right now to do XYZ. And yet somebody else might go, girl, you got all this stuff. You've been hoarding stuff for eons, right? Like you've got all this stuff that you've been collecting, but you haven't put to use just yet. Just go in your garage, right? You think that you have to go out and buy more stuff in order to do a live. You don't have what you need when really you got everything already out there. You've been collecting it forever, but you're not seeing it as as possibilities and resources that are available to you. So she says, sometimes it's as simple as looking at things with new eyes to see how astoundingly fortunate we are. Be the alien for 24 hours and see what you come up with. Oh my gosh. Was that not good? Was that not good? Okay. Okay. I know it might be funny to think about it in that way with the whole alien thing, but we get the point, right? New perspective. Instead of letting ourselves dwell in where we are right now, think about all the stuff that we do have versus all that we don't have, right? Lisa says, I have family in New Brunswick and Maine, have always considered my Canadian family in the same country. I know it's true, right? We're very, very similar, except when you move to a different country, even though it's, it's just across the border, especially when you go through the immigration process, you realize that this is a new country, right? That you're no longer in your home country. It's completely different. And there's a lot to get used to, right? When you make a change and it's not just for a visit. It's there now. Like, this is your new life. It's completely different, right? Even for me, growing up in a country now where I don't have my brother and my sister and my mother and my father, and I don't have that support system, and you move somewhere and you don't know anybody. Oh, it's really, really scary, right? Sending your son off to school and you have no idea, the other moms and all those things. There were times where there was days that I cried and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm going to go back home. I had those moments. I'm so glad and thankful that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? We've heard of that. And that's why I'm convinced that, man, if you have a struggle ahead of you, sometimes it's easy to jump out of it and go, I can't do this. But what if you can and you just need to give it more time? Right? What if you can? You have the power. That's why I will always say that you have the power, that you are in control, that you either make it or break it. You either have a good day or a bad day, because how you feel is up to you, right? If you're feeling strong, if you're feeling wimpy, if you're feeling brave and courageous, or if you're feeling scared, those are just thoughts, right? That you are putting into your own head. So if we can control how we feel, then and control what's upstairs, all the squirrels, right? Control focus. When you realize that you are truly in control of how today goes for you, that's when, that's when you just get freedom, right? Freedom is just truly being okay with being yourself and showing up every day being yourself. Like, that is just pure freedom to me. Let's see here. That's right. Jan says, manna from heaven. Maggie says, having opened myself to new opportunities, amazing things have happened. Very nice. Good for you. So now you're learning Celtic and you're doing some lettering. Very nice. So that's what you want to do, right? That's what makes you happy. And boy, that's different, because using that as an example, Maggie, is that, if we were to say, how many of us in here are doing Celtic art right now, or Celtic lettering, or making that as part of our business, you might be the only one, right? So you have found your thing that lights you up. And there are people who also are your people that love that will flock to you. So that's why I say, don't try to be like anybody else. Just like zoom in on, what do you do? What is your gift? Like we talked about in the very beginning, open it up, share it with other people. And just like you have somebody right now that you're learning from, right? They had to open up their gift to give it to you. So that's why I say, when you see business people on the side of the road, the people who have opened up their talents, the people who have truly taken on that risk, right, to be able to open up a small business, they have tapped into their talents, what it is that they love to do, and they're sharing XYZ with the world. They didn't have to, right? And so it's important to support each other, when people go out and they do those things, right? Maggie says she's learning a new skill and growing. I love growing. Remember, who remembers my my riddle? What is the biggest room in the world? The biggest room in the world. Candy said, always felt we're all in this. Oh, sorry, that we all always felt we all the survivor mode in all of us, that we have it there, right? That is inside of us. Yep, that is built into us. So yes, the biggest room for improvement. I'm sorry, the biggest room in the world is room for improvement, right? Every day, just trying to be a better person than we were yesterday, and trying to figure out how we can be better to other people, and how we can give back, right? And open our gift to share it with other people. So she says, get out of your head and take action. You don't have to know exactly where it's going to take you in general. You just need to start with one thing that feels right and keep following right feeling things to see where they lead. All right. And she has a section here that she highlighted, and she says, this is where the clarity through action comes into play. Most answers reveal themselves through doing and not thinking about it, right? There's the people that think and think and think and think and think. And then there are the people that think and do, right? Most answers reveal themselves, though, through the doing part. That's when you figure stuff out. And that's in life in general. When you figure out, she even talks about how, just through relationships that we have, right? How do you figure out what you want in a relationship? Well, you have relationships with other people, and you know what you stand for, and you know what you don't stand for, right? And you know what you love and what you don't love, and you move on, and you get clarity through action. But it's because you went through that. And that's why I always say, I never lose. I always learn, right? When something goes other than you have planned, that's okay. That's business. That's life, right? You look at it and you don't cry. You go, all right, well, I could have anticipated that, right? No big deal. I got this. A bad day doesn't mean a bad life or a bad business or, a bad week. It just means right now, that's what happened. Okay. How could I have fixed this? What is in my control, right? Instead of playing the victim, what could I have done to make this go better? If you ever launch something and it falls flat on its face, or you talk about something and it doesn't go where you want it, instead of saying that people don't want what I have, ask yourself and reframe it and go, what could I have done to make this better, right? Could I have talked about it a little bit more? Could I have shown up a little bit more? Could I have been a little more courageous about showing people versus just talking, right? Separating the talking and the thinking from the actual doing. Take responsibility ourselves for what's going on right now in our life. And she says, listen to your intuition. And this is what I started with, okay? This was this part of the book where she says, we spend the vast majority of our time moving at full speed ahead, both physically and mentally. And we literally bulldoze over the very answers we're seeking because they can't be heard, okay, over all the noise. Do you ever feel like that? Where you get up in the morning, like I said, the alarm goes off, and it is like it's not even normal, where you, like, the alarm goes off, you've hit snooze a couple times, you got no more time left, and you just get up, like you just physically sit up, right? And then it's like, okay, I'm off to the races. And during the day, you're running around. You could be getting the kids ready for school. You could be packing school lunches, making sure everybody's out the door on time. You got to get yourself to wherever it is that you're going. You just go, go, go. You got appointments you got to do. You got people to make sure that they're getting to where they need to get to. You got people who are emailing you or reaching out to you or calling you. You got a business to run, which takes a double set of energy, because now not only are you a regular person with a house to maintain and people in your life to maintain, but now you have like a second set of responsibilities, and you have all these people to serve, and you can do that from morning till night, morning till night, morning to night, right? And then what happens is we get burnt out. And that is why it is important to set boundaries. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, right? Taking a break, a rest, not quitting, but a break to refuel so you can come back stronger than ever, right? So you've got to make sure you take care of yourself. But the intuition, the stuff, like, everybody's got their own businesses going on. And you have decisions right now to make in yours, because your business is different than mine or anybody else's that's in here right now. And you have to make decisions, and you can't figure out what you have to do. And so this chapter here, I really liked, where she talks about listening to your intuition, because it's basically clearing out the noise and giving yourself, like she talks about sitting quietly. Okay. Sitting quietly with all this stuff out of the way. So if there's an answer that you need today, if there's something that you got to make a decision on, the whole idea, which seems so simple and just so easy, and it's not like some stroke of brilliance, it's just what we should be doing anyhow, sitting down in quiet and clearing out our brains, and then letting yourself just like, what does your intuition say, right? What does your gut say? What is your next move, right? And just letting it surface versus constantly doing stuff. Sometimes we need to take a break from filling the dishwasher or vacuuming while we're thinking. And while women, we're great at multitasking, right? Because man, we have done that forever and a day. We can do a lot of stuff because we're just special creatures like that. But when you get to a point that you need to make a decision, she's just talking about sitting quietly and asking. And she says, you will get an answer. Eventually, you will get an answer. Just stick with it and be patient and wait to hear from your inner guidance, right? We know we have experiences. We have things that have happened to us in life that will lead us to like whether or not this is a good idea or not. And if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't, right? When I have friends who say, I can't do X, Y, Z, well, you know what? If it doesn't feel right for you, it probably isn't, right? Just because it's right for somebody else doesn't make it right for you. You have got your own special set of circumstances, your life. And so listen to you. And if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. But if you got that little signal, like this little gut signal that just keeps telling you like, do it, you should do it, you should do it, right? Take some time to think on it. She says, be patient and wait to hear from your inner guidance. You have all the answers you need. You have it already. You just need to give them the chance to get through to you. Isn't that the truth? You have all the answers you need. You just need to give them the chance to get through to you. So maybe if you need to make a big decision right now, maybe you just need to take 30 minutes and go sit outside in the sunshine, right? Just sit on the chair, like give yourself some grace. Who cares whether or not there's dirty dishes into the sink? They're going to be there when you get back. They're going to be there when you get back, and focus on whatever it is that you need to really dwell on. So those were some of the takeaways from this week's reading. And that was a lot, right? And I just kind of like really condensed it for you guys. But I'm telling you that if you really feel that you want to fuel your mind with positivity and really like gain, this is why when who was it Lisa asked me one of my favorite books that I've read of all time, like in terms of self-improvement, it is this book because it is the most basic stuff, but it's not even business related. She has other books, but this one right here, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. It is just about life, right? It's just about you, and you're at the center of your business. And so if you can get you in a good space, then everything else that you touch around you, right? It's going to trickle. It's going to carry over. So I'm a big believer in taking care of yourself, right? And so for you guys that said she loves how she ends every chapter of love yourself right now, where you are at, right? Love your body, the fact that it is your very own carrying case right now, right? And it is allowing you to exist and to be here right now on this planet. I mean, think about that, right? Like you can apply it to anything. It doesn't have to be business, but it all starts with loving ourselves, understanding that we have a gift. I forget, there is a quote that I love, and I don't know who said it because people repurpose quotes all the time, but it was something to be said about the whole purpose of life is finding your gift and then giving it away. I mean, think about the joy that you get, right? That we know from giving. So if you can figure out what your gift is and, work with your hands, work with your brain, do what you got to do, try some things. If some things doesn't work, shift to something else, whatever works, continue down that path. But yeah, if you can figure out what your gift is and give it away every single day, boy, think about what that will do for you and how it would change your life, right? So Jan says, to the battlefield of the mind. Yep. Rita says she's a continual student of life. I learn something new every day. I'm a sponge for knowledge. True that. That's how I feel too, right? Like I love learning from other people. I love hearing other mindsets. I love hearing what people think because I know that we all grew up differently. We all have different experiences that we walk through. And that's why everybody has something to contribute, right? Sandy says, yep, a learning for life. Maggie says, I'm the same way. I've always been amazed at people who don't get excited about exploring something new. True that. Rita says, yep, hard for me to understand why people aren't excited about learning new things. And that's why I am going to be your very first person. Yeah, I'm going to be that person in your life that will tell you, girl or guy, if you want to learn something, it is out there for the taking, right? It is out there for the taking. And I think we talked about last week about, basically the buffet of life, right? Wasn't it that we talked about? And again, a very, very simple idea, but it's true. There is a table that is set right there, and it has all the stuff. And we live in an age right now, unlike ever before, where if you want to learn something, all you have to do is reach out and grab it, right? But if you don't take the action to stick your arm out there, because you're staying back here in a box, comfortable, because you know what? It's hard to teach yourself how to do something. Yeah, it's hard to do all kinds of stuff, but you know what? People are doing it, all right? And you can too. You can too. It doesn't make a difference. But what's going to happen is if you are the person that's brave enough and also takes the time. So if you're sitting in front of Netflix today, or you want a business and you're not taking the time to build your business, then you're not taking the time to basically grab from this buffet of business all the tools that are out there, right? For free for us right now. You guys have heard, right, that we live in a time where we carry a computer in our pockets around with us. Think about that. Think about the days where we had to go to libraries and read books, and or at the very time when books were being developed, and you would have the hope that that book wasn't being taken out by somebody else at the library. That book might have been written years ago and it's not even up-to-date knowledge. Now we have, it would probably amaze us to know how many tutorials and how many different business topics are being developed right now, this minute, and somebody is hitting publish and sharing their gifts with the world, right? Think about that. We have computers in our pockets. And so we have access to information like no time than before. So knowledge is power. Arm yourself with some great knowledge, right? What is it that you want to grow in? Reach for the table, grab it, and do it. Pam says, does anyone meditate regularly? If so, any tips, books, podcasts, etc.? If you guys have something, she actually talks about in here. Did you guys know that if you read the chapter where she talks about how to meditate? I'm trying to remember what chapter it was. I just read it a bit ago. And she talks about, how to meditate. She gives you some guidance. And she also tells you that if you just don't, like, the most simplest way, and meditating is just thinking about stuff, right? Just clearing your mind and thinking about something that you just really want to zone in on. And it's very, very, very easy the way she walks you through. She also talks about guided meditation. If you want to Google guided meditation, and you'll find stuff. Go on YouTube, right? And that's what you want to do, to kind of calm yourself down and put yourself in a space. But she talks about, it is actually, I'll tell you what it is. She starts on, chapter 10, Meditation 101, right there. Okay, guys? So chapter 85, read that. She talks about all the reasons why you just want to do it. She talks about it as riding the airstream of awesomeness. She tells you how to sit, what to focus on, and how easy it really is. Options, suggestions, guided meditations, chanting. She goes all into it, so you can find your groove, whatever it is that you want, right? So that's a great chapter to read, and then go from there. But I think it is important to take time to just think about what you want in life and what you're going to grab for today, right? Sandy says, every couple of months, Oprah and Deepak, I'm familiar with Oprah, offer free meditation. Sandy says they're amazing. Rita says we need to take the blinders off and see the whole world and learn what's there for the taking. Oh my gosh. Isn't that the truth, right? Remember that alien exercise? That could be if you're not somebody who takes time to just slow down and think about stuff like that, just for mind clarity and mind space, give yourself some space, right? All this stuff is compressing against your body. All the people that want you, all the people, right? That you just feel some days I just feel overwhelmed. We've all been there, right? When you take time to close a door, sit in a room, and realize, you have all this space around you, and then you just do it with your brain as well. You just you clear out all the stuff, right? Especially as creatives, we got a lot going around, bouncing around, all those tabs, all the stuff that's open in our brains. And when you focus on one tab, one thing, take some deep breaths and realize everything's going to be okay. It is very, very helpful. Candy says, making a personal commitment to join this group every day. I have learned so much, have found like-minded people in business, and can't say thank you enough, Sonia. You are a blessing to us all. You are very kind, Candy. Thank you very, very much. I only hope that I can be a blessing to everybody, and that's why I love to do what I do. Because if you can't tell, that I get excitement over talking about this stuff, because I know that it really works, right? When you get out of your own mind and you realize that you, starting from ground zero, can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Who's seen that meme in their thing? You're not a tree. You can move. You can do stuff, right? You're not like stuck on a trunk. You got arms that can move, that can pick up a book, that you can change your life today. But you are always in control. Don't let the outside forces tell you, right, anything otherwise, because we've talked about it here. Sometimes we hear stuff from other people and it's not the truth, right? It's just their own insecurities and they get projected on you. All those sorts of things that can happen, right? The projecting that you need to be perfect. No, you don't. You just got to be a human. Show up in human form and help other people, right? That's the beauty about it. Business doesn't have to be, what did I always say? It doesn't have to be ClickFunnels and expensive apps and expensive courses and all these other things. Business is about making human connection with another person, right? So if you're human, then man, you got the biggest part of the recipe that you need, all right? Because you're human and you can connect with other fellow humans. Just think about it right there. That's why we have everything that we need. And how you use it and how you view the resources around you, well, that part is up to you, all right? But if you stick around me long enough, what's that? Have you ever heard that meme going around, that quote? If you stick around me long enough, I just might brainwash you into thinking that you can do anything. All right. That's what this group is all about. Telling you that, yes, you can do it. Sandy says, I've grown not only personally, but I went from 0 views to over 2K. Yay. And 75 followers to 360. But friendships are the best. And just think about that, right? You just show up doing what you love to do over and over again, and the rest is history, right? The rest is history, because you're coming from a place of, you're coming from the right way, right? You're coming from building authentic relationships, genuine, and you're understanding as well, right? What we talk about, like this week, we talked about applying that to Instagram. So we did 4 trainings this week on Instagram and how you can basically be at your best in business on Instagram. So if you've missed those 4 sessions, go back and listen in, guys, right? Listen in and think about, okay, I can take what I have and I can apply it to what we talked about this week to continue to grow and put yourself out there, because you can have that gift, but you got to show people, right? You got to tell people about it so that you can help people. And if you're truly coming at it from the perspective and knowing that what you're doing is not, you're not hurting people, right? You're not selling bad things to good people. If you're building a business that you believe in, because you believe with every single fiber of your being that what you're doing is only helping somebody else, and especially if you've walked through it yourself and it helped you, that's why I can honestly say that paint was my therapy, because in all those times that I was like, I can't do this, like paint was my friend, right? I was in the garage and I was painting, and for so many reasons, right? Not having any money to do anything and not being able to work in this country and, you know, all those sorts of things that I had to walk through, right? What I found for me personally, that paint was, when I was painting, it made me happy. And so the very fact that you can do that for other people that need happiness in their life, I mean, you wouldn't think about it. And that's why I say that you are more than just your product, because it's what your product can do for other people, right? And so you've got to think of yourself more than that, right? You're not just somebody who builds wreaths. You're not just somebody that does paintings or cupcakes, or you just have a storefront. There is a bigger thing at play here, and what you're doing and what you're giving to other people is benefiting their life past that packaging, right? Like it's doing something, it's having an impact in other people's lives. And when you realize that, you kind of come to a whole other place where you're like, it's mean for me not to tell other people about it, right? Like I should be okay with telling people about my gift, about what it is that I have, my product, my service, my solution that can help other people, and not feel any weirdness about it, because it is truly, say it with me, helping other people, all right? So think about that today, your gift, and are you showing it to other people so that they can take advantage of it too, and you can go on to change their lives. Thank you guys for the hearts and the thumbs up. Everybody say it. Yay, Sandy, showing up and being a great example to all of us. I am happy for you. And you realize that it just continues to trickle from here, right? It just continues to trickle from here. So you just show up and you be consistent at doing what you love to do, helping other people out. What's wrong with that? Man, that is a great way to lay your head on a pillow at the end of the day, knowing that you have done everything with integrity, that you've done it above board. You haven't done anything shady. You're just here. You're just here sharing, right? You're sharing the love. And that is why when you do what you love in business, that's why it's contagious. That is why people see you. They want to do business with you because they pick up on the happiness. They see it brings you happiness. Hello. They want to be surrounded with people, right? That makes them, remember we talked about that? Surround yourself with people that keeps you your spirits lifted higher, that keeps you reaching higher, right? When, especially at a time right now when things are really chaotic in the world, right? You could be that person for somebody else. But if you don't choose to put yourself out there, then they'll never know what you have and how much it could impact their lives. Jan says, I love sharing. It's my passion. She says, I was in an MLM which pushed sharing their product. It wasn't my passion and I felt like a fraud begging for money. Yep. So if you go into business knowing that you're doing something that, like, regardless if somebody paid you, like, you would show up every single day doing it. And if you show up as a creator, not as a seller, okay? The selling is like the symptom of what happens. And that's the part where I say, if you just do what you do and the rest is history. That's what I mean when I say you just do you, okay? You do what you love, right? And you're sharing it with other people. Now, when you monetize part of what you do, right? That's the part of how you're making money back. That's how you're keeping your doors open, right? That's the work part of it, the business part of it, right? So when you're doing what you're doing and now you're making it available to other people, but you always come from the part of where you truly are. Hey, we're just going to do this because I love doing this. All right. And hey, if you guys want to get in on this, well, you know what? I have something available for you. You're not making anybody doing anything. It's their call, right? You just show up doing what you love. And what you find out is that, the vibes that you give off and just not trying to be anybody else other than yourself and doing what you love and doing the product or whatever it is that you love, the rest is history because people will pick up on all the things, all the benefits, the whys, without you having to be there in their face, buy it now, let people come to their own conclusions. I guess that's probably a good idea, a good way to say it, right? You're just out there doing what you do. People will arrive at their own conclusions. And if you're super salesy and you're super, what feels like icky, they'll pick up on that too, right? But they'll also pick up on if the place that you're coming from and if it's genuine or it's not. So you just do you, do what you love. The rest is history, right? Yep. Alyssa says you can't hide what's inside. True. Rita says it's so much easier to sell something you're passionate about and makes you and others happy or fulfilled. There are many times that I will paint and I'll paint live. And then people say, well, where can I get this paint? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should tell you, right? Yes. Yeah. Go to junkmonkeypaint.com, right? People will ask you those questions. That's why I say, when you show up just doing what you love, you don't have to talk about prices. You don't have to talk about all these things. Those are the natural things that will follow because people will arrive at their own feelings based on, how you have put yourself out there. And that's why it's important to try not to filter yourself, right? Filter yourself, yes. Remember, sex, politics, religions. We're smarter than that, all right? Just for every, unless that's your platform and that is what you do in life, like that's your business, right? And it makes sense for you to talk about those things. But in general, if we're on here as creatives, and what do you want your focus of your business to be, right? So what is at the heart of your business? And that's why I always say in the magazine of your business, what should you be talking about today? What is it that you're on this planet to do? What is it that is your gift? And don't get focused on other stuff. What did you, what are you growing your business in, right? And stay focused on that and stay focused right at the heart of your business. Yep. And with that, Lisa gives me 3 thumbs up. All right, my friends, it is time to close up our daily chat. I'll be back again tomorrow. Don't forget, on weekends, we do noon Eastern Standard Time because I'm on the East Coast. So hopefully that gives you guys time for those of you who are further out west to get up in the morning and have your coffee. I'm drinking water. I've had my cup of coffee. Now I'm trying to hydrate with water today and maybe get out for a walk as well. So hopefully you guys will as well, as well. Get out for a walk and, you know, just think big. Take deep breaths and, you know, do the whole alien thing. Go back and do the whole alien exercise that we talked about. And for those of you who said that you can find this book free on YouTube, that is wonderful, because you know what you can do? Because we live in this amazing world where you can listen to that chapter with your earbuds while you're walking today, right? And just think big and just put yourself in a place that you got this. You got this. Alyssa says, oh, I'm so glad I caught this at the perfect time to hear your message. Jan says, time to read some more. Just made my second cup of coffee. I'm probably going to go for that too. Marie says, it's snowing, and so far we have about 3 inches. Oh, how beautiful is that? No outside walking for us today, all right? So I don't know if we're going to get any more snow or not. I don't know if the last snowfall was our last bit of snow, but when I hear about 3 inches of snow falling, oh man, how beautiful. Sit inside. Read your favorite book, invest in yourself, do something that makes you happy, take a nice bath today. I don't know, go paint your toenails, do whatever just makes you happy, right? And take some time for yourself today. I love it when it snows outside. Oh my gosh, it makes me want to go watch Narnia now. All right, thank you, Lisa, for being here. Oh, Marie says she's in Ohio, so it may be heading your way. Hey, I'll take it. I know that summer is coming, right? Summer is coming, and so is spring. So I'm okay with the snow because it could be our last snowfall, so we might as well enjoy it now, right? Do you know, guys, that there are people, all right, even the Banana Bunch family, because they write in and they tell me that when I show them snow, that they have never seen snow in their entire life. And that always amazes me because I grew up in the North, right? And where there's a lot of snow, and it's all relative to where we are, right? So appreciate that. And you know what? If you got 3 inches, Marie, if you have your business page, take a quick video of 5 to 6 seconds and share the snow with somebody else out there today, because they probably love to see that in their feed, right? It's the most simplest thing sometimes that makes people go, wow, that's so amazing. Be the alien, all right? There are people that don't have snow. So what you have right now is pretty amazing, right? To other people that could be wowed by that. And you're just thinking, it's just snow. Yes, have a wonderful day, friends. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll catch up tomorrow at noon and talk some more. Thanks for being here. I love talking with you guys. All right, you're in control. Go make it the kind of day that you want to make it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and I'd love it if you share this video and give this video a thumbs up or leave me a heart, right? That's what I always say, is that this group in here runs on your love. So I appreciate when you do that and you support me as a creative and you share. And I'm pretty sure somebody needs to hear what we just talked about today, right? So I would love it if you would do that. All right, see you tomorrow. We'll chat some more. See ya.